In the years since the energy crisis of the mid-70s, there's been a succession of exciting developments in less conventional forms of energy production: wind, wave, geothermal, and a host of solar systems. But we've really not come up with much that improves the way we store energy. That is, until now. One of the world's largest oil companies, a huge German electronics and industrial corporation, and an international mining company are currently seeking licensing agreements with the University of New South Wales in Sydney as a result of a significant breakthrough in battery technology. The team that made the breakthrough is headed by Dr. Maria Kozakos, who's been working on the process for several years under the sponsorship of the National Energy Research, Development and Demonstration Council. The system they've perfected is called the Vanadium Redox flow battery. But before we see how it works, let's just take a quick look at a conventional lead-acid car battery. Normally they consist of 6 cells along here, each one delivering about 2 volts, a total of 12 volts. And in a much simpler version of this, each cell would contain 2 plates, one of spongy lead, like that, and the other of lead dioxide. These ones have been heavily used. But anyway, they're immersed in a dilute solution of sulfuric acid. The acid reacts with the plates, converting chemical energy into electrical energy, creating a positive charge on the lead dioxide plate and a negative charge on the other. With no demand placed on the electrodes, as they're called, then energy in the form of electricity can be stored for long periods in the battery. But if an electric motor or a light is switched on, an electrical current flows. But as we all know, a car battery can very quickly run flat, and it often takes a long time to recharge. Also, as we've seen, if you want a battery to provide power for a long period or to provide energy for appliances that have a high power consumption, then you need a lot of them. And that's where the new vanadium battery provides the big advantage. It uses a radically new approach, first developed by the American Space Agency, NASA, called the redox flow system. Now, redox simply means the reduction and oxidation process in which negatively charged electrons are exchanged directly between 2 chemicals, in this case, these 2 here. And when that happens on a continuous basis, then an electrical current is established. NASA has had considerable difficulty with the redox system using solutions of iron and chromium because of cross-contamination between the 2 solutions. The success of this new system rests on the fact that it uses only one chemical solution, vanadium sulfate, in 2 different forms, a slight but significant difference between the 2 beakers, which we'll see in a moment. Incidentally, vanadium is a metal, and it's found mainly in South Africa, the Soviet Union, and Australia. This is what it looks like in its natural form, the ore, and this is vanadium sulfate. Unlike conventional batteries, this one has an exterior supply of electrolyte, in this case the 2 different versions of vanadium sulfate, which flow continually through the battery. But the 2 solutions never meet or mix inside the battery. They're prevented from doing that by membranes like this, which are impervious to liquid, but which allow positively charged ions to pass through. Now, the difference between the 2 liquids, the greeny-yellow one here, its molecules have a positive charge of 5, and this one, the purple liquid, its molecules have a positive charge of only 2. When a load is connected across the terminals, the electrolytes flowing through the battery impart their 5 and 2 charges onto the black electrode plates so that a current can flow from one to the other. This is balanced by the hydrogen ions permeating through the membrane. When discharged, the positive charges in the electrolytes are down to 4 and 3, and very little current flows. But the important thing to remember is that when the electrolytes are fully discharged and the battery is effectively flat, you don't have to recharge the battery over a long period of time, although you could if you wanted to. All you have to do is to replace the containers or refill them with a fully charged electrolyte. So, for example, with an electric car with one decent-sized vanadium battery of about 2 kilowatts output, but weighing less than 60 kilos, around 140 pounds, if you were running low on power, you would just pull into a special service station and fill your tanks with the 2 solutions of vanadium, and then drive off.